Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to show you a very simple Spring Boot 4 with JobRunner example. I'm going to show you how to enqueue jobs, schedule jobs, and even schedule them recurrently. And for this scenario, we're imagining we're a bank where people will sign up and get a welcome bonus. After 14 days, we need to charge their card because the free trial is over. And then every night we're going to calculate the interests on all the accounts. Very simple scenario, but I'm going to walk you through how to set up a project in Spring Boot 4 with JobRunner. To get started, we go here to the Spring Initializer, where we're of course going to use Spring Boot 4. Going to use Maven as my build tool, and I need these dependencies. I need Spring Web because I'm going to have some API endpoints to then create new clients or users for my bank. I'm going to use Postgres as my database, because I want to have persistent jobs when my server would restart. Going to use a Docker Compose support, makes it easy to spin up and spin down my containers. And then, of course, I need my Spring Data JDBC so that I can actually access my database and everything works flawlessly. Super easy to now generate a project. I just click here on Generate, and then we have it here. So I will open up the project in my IntelliJ right now. Here we go, the project is opened. What we see here is our compose.yaml that it was automatically generated with the Postgres database. The only thing that I'm going to change here is that I'm going to also expose the ports. Another thing that I need to do is in my POM file here, my build file for Maven, I need to still add the JobRunner dependency. It's not in here yet. Super easy to find. If you go to Spring Boot Starter in our documentation, you can just copy this line of code. Dependency, and then the version that we need to use is 8.3. Now, the final thing that we need to do is change our application properties to tell our application to load JobRunner. You can also find the application properties here in our documentation. We just need these two lines. There we go, here. Just one thing that we haven't done is that we haven't connected now a data store to our Spring application. We can easily do that using these lines of code. So we define our data source, our username, our password, and the link of our data source. Note that this is the exact same information as that we used here when we create our Docker container. So this should be it. This should be enough now to start the project and see if everything is working. So we'll go to our demo Spring. We're just going to run the project. And we see that it's done, that it's running. So our dashboards using our Postgres storage provider, and that's what we want, is running here locally. So this is how the dashboard looks like. We see at the moment there are no jobs scheduled, nothing planned. We just have one server, and that's my own that is running. To show it super easily how to schedule a job, the most easiest way to do it, it's super simple, and then we will make it a bit, then I will show you all the logic, is that we use this static method background job.enqueue, and then we can use our lambda notation. Yes, hello world. A very simple way to schedule a job. We'll run this file again. And we see now here the hello world is visible. And if we would see here on our dashboard, if we go to jobs, we have here succeeded jobs, the hello world. Yeah, 10 minutes ago I tried it as well. But as we see here, our hello world job was succeeded. So that's the easiest way to do it. But of course, in this project, we want to make things a little bit nicer. And I'm going to walk you through some different scenarios. So I'm going to remove this one. And like I said before, we're going to act like we're a bank, and as a bank we need, of course, to have somewhere to put all our logic. Create a service, bank service Java. Since this is a service, I'm going to annotate it with add service, and I'm going to use a logger. Makes it a little bit nicer for me to log information. Since we're not going to actually implement logic, it's just going to log this this stuff that is happening behind the screens. logger. Did I import the wrong one? Yes, I need this one. Voila. So that's correctly imported. And then another thing that we do is that we are going to inject our JobRunner scheduler here. So what I did here is that in the previous one, if I just do here background job enqueue, we're using the static methods, and yeah, that works for very simple things. But if you're running multiple JobRunner applications in the same GVM, it might make it a little bit more difficult to do your debugging. So actually the preferred way that we do it is that we first here define our job scheduler, and then in the constructors we're going to initialize it, of course, or inject it. Job scheduler. Voila. First thing that we're going to do is that I'm gonna show you how to do a fire and forget job. We're just gonna enqueue a job. So let's call it the start onboarding. So there's a new client. And we're going to, once we call this method, we just say, okay, welcome new client. We deposited 50 euros in your account. And then for ourselves, client name, so that we know for which client. Voila. Second method that I wanna implement, because this is the moment that they're onboarded. Second thing that I want to do is that I want to make sure that in the future I can schedule a method, so where we then going to charge them. So when their free trial will be over, I'll just do charge membership fee. Same for a client. Say trial is a word. All right, and then the final methods that I'm going to implement is the calculate interest. That is not for a client, that's for everyone. So nightly calculation of interest. Voila. This is gonna do a warning here. Right. So this is just the methods that we're going to call. Now, of course, we need to write the logic of where we're going to call them. Like I said earlier, we're gonna use an API endpoint that then is calling this kind of stuff. We're gonna make a new package, and it is going to be our controller. Yeah, controller, statement bank controller. To annotate it here, that it's a REST controller. And I also need to do the request mapping so that it knows where my endpoints are located. Voila. We need to inject our bank service. So same here, private final bank service. And we're going to also bank service, do the same with our job scheduler. Job scheduler. Now the constructor. Voila. Then link it. There we go. And now we can start implementing our methods. So first method that we need to do is that the method when we're going to onboard a new client. Very simple. Let's do it like this. Public string onboard client. And then I want to make sure that I had his name or her name. request bottom. This has to be voila, and then it's their name. This is going to be a get, and I'm gonna do it on /onboard. And what I do here now is my JobRunr magic. The moment that we're going to onboard the client, I'm going to do job scheduler enqueue, and here I'm going to call the bank service methods. Bank service.start onboarding client name. Let's name. To make it super easy for you guys to understand, first we're going to do here the fire and forget job. And then 14 days later the trial is ended and we need to charge customer. So what we do then is that we do job scheduler.schedule. And then here with the schedule, we can define when it needs to happen. Of course, this video is not going to take like 14 days. So I just want to schedule it in 30 seconds after I created that person. So a very easy way to do that is send.now.plus. Let's do 30 seconds plus second 30. So 30 seconds from now. And then what I can do here is my bank service dot charge membership fee for the clients. Voila, we're almost ready. We need to return here. Onboarding started. And I promised you to not just have here one that schedules in the future. I also want to make sure that I have something that schedules recurrently, so that every night the interest is being calculated. So the easiest way to do it is just do background job dot schedule recurrently, and then we can see here the signature on how we can do it. Schedule recurrently. We do an ID, we use a cron expression, and then the job. So we do string schedule recurrently, calculate interest, and then here a cron expression every 5 minutes. Voila, we're gonna use this cron. And then for now, I just want to do it super simple with the system. Print line, calculate interest. Voila, super simple. So this is a way that we can do it to schedule these background jobs recurrently, but there's actually a way nicer way to do this, and that is by going inside the method, or inside the clause here where the method is that you want to let it run. And what we do here is that we're just going to annotate it. So we have here the beautiful JobRunr annotation at recurring. And then we do our interval. We can use here a cron, but we can also use a very easy, bit more readable. So that we say here, we're going to do it every 5 minutes. Voila. You can read more about this in our documentation. And then we say here the ID is apply daily interest. Interest daily, and then with the annotation. Voila. So if we're now going to run the application, what you will see is that we, once we call this endpoint, person will be onboarded immediately. And then we create a schedule a job that's 14 days in the future in real time. It's going to be in 30 seconds in the future. We're going to then charge them. And then there's a recurring job that is running. Here, this one, the calculate interest one job that we defined here. Just to show you how you can define it using this syntax, fluent in syntax. And then another way how we did it with the annotation. Can only contain letters and numbers. Okay, I think one of my IDs of calculate interest. Voila. If we are going to look at the dashboard, we see that there are 2 recurring jobs scheduled, my calculate interest and my apply interest daily with the annotation. See here every 5 minutes, and this is also every 5 minutes. It's going to run here in 5 minutes from now, 4 minutes from now. We can already see here that they're being scheduled. And then I'm now going to trigger my endpoint. So that was here. It's going to be onboard name Nicholas. Voila, onboarding started. What we'll see here in the JobRunr dashboard. Voila, there's actually already succeeded. Start onboarding was successfully done. And it scheduled a new job here with my charge membership fee that is going to be here in 15 seconds from now. Yeah, since I scheduled it in the future. Then we'll go to the enqueue stage and then it will execute. And then once it's done, first it will appear here. And then once it's done, it will appear here in the succeeded. So as you see, it's rather simple to get started with JobRunr and to schedule your first jobs, enqueue your first jobs. So if this was interesting, check out our website. We have a lot more guides and documentation and example projects. And I hope this helps you get stuff. Ciao.